Namaste. Namaste. I'm Manish and I'd like to share with you how you could use yoga to overcome a back pain. Now, firstly, it's very important that we understand that it's not just the body, but also the body, mind, and prana or energy that work together. So if you've got a backache or a back pain, there are muscles that we need to understand, how to stretch, release, and eventually strengthen them. You've got to understand a little bit about the mind. So you've got to visualize what is the right posture for you. Otherwise, once the back pain goes, in due course, again, you're going to get it. You've got to strengthen certain parts. We'll visualize that. And we just got to understand a little bit more about the breathing process so that every breath fortifies your posture. So let's get started. So firstly, just sit still. Sit still. You can also sit on a small cushion or even on a chair, or if you're on the floor with back support. So sit straight and understand that in yoga, asana means a seat or a throne. It's a posture attuned for meditation. So all the work that goes into yoga in terms of strengthening and stretching the back is for this posture. So this is a very good posture so that daily you can spend a little bit of time in this posture and you will ensure and understand that the back strengthens. So just take a little bit of time. We begin with a simple Om chant. So bring your hands into a Namaste so that you come into a meditative space and we can learn together. Let's set the intent. I want to overcome my back pain and backache. So let's set that as an intent. Increasingly, we are finding things like intent or sankalp in Sanskrit are very critical when it comes to healing or transformation. So you've set the intent to overcome the backache. The first thing I'd like you to do is visualize yourself standing straight. If you cannot visualize yourself standing straight, your body won't be able to replicate that posture. And just as a little bit of a help tool, we'll also do it, but first just visualize. So when you stand straight, what you can do now is just very simply have your heels very firm on the ground. Have your hands by the sides. And as you dig into the earth, so don't just stand, a lot of people stand wrongly, the posture is bad. So I would like you to stand as if you're pushing the floor down. As a response, the earth pushes you back and that straightens the spine. Draw in the core with every exhale. So here's where the prana works. Inhale. And as you exhale, draw in the core. Hands are here, inhale. As you exhale, draw in the core. Some of you will have a weird posture in the sense that the pelvis will be tilted forward. So just ensure that you're turning the pelvis like this and the core goes drawn in. Now, getting the right posture is very important. And if it means that you got to watch somebody with great posture, you can do that. You can watch a few videos, just look at an athlete or look at a yogi for that matter. Just see how their spine is. Once you have this image, then you will start to correct automatically. That's a little bit of the visualization aspect. Let's get to the body. There are 5 natural movements of the spine. The first is an extension of the spine. When you don't have that extension, the discs are almost jammed, and this happens because of sedentary work life. If you're going to be sitting at a workstation for 8-9 hours without much movement, the back is going to get stiffer and stiffer and more jammed. So what you'll do first is just inhale, stretch up, and start to elongate. So this is the first natural movement of the spine. We call it an extension. So take 3 deep breaths as you extend up. You can also do this in a standing position. I'm showing it to you in a seated. So every morning, these are good things to do. Beautiful. Come back. The next movement of the spine is a backward bend and a forward fold. So very simply, let's do it like this. Facing the sun. I hope you're enjoying the sound of the waves. I've shot this so that it's soothing close to the beach. Inhale. So now I'm dipping the spine, so I'm just slowly beginning to open out the spine. Exhale, curve the back. Just like a forward fold. Inhale. Exhale. It's beautiful practices to do every morning. Marcharyasan, cat. Inhale. And exhale. As an extension to that movement, drop your hands here and just breathe in. So this is a very basic backward bend. Exhale. Once more, just breathe in. Stretching here. Just opening out. So if you've got a lot of pain in the trapezius, and we look at the muscles, but gently starting to open out the back. Inhale. Exhale. So these are the backward bends. We'll do more dynamic ones a little later. And as a forward fold, just keep the knees a little split and start to drop down. Now you may not be able to go all the way down and your hips may be somewhere here in the air. This is fine. Okay, so we've done a spinal extension, we've done a back bend, a gentle back bend, we've got more to do, and we've got a forward fold. The fourth movement of the spine is a side stretch. So what you'll do here, and this can also be done standing, but in a seated position, getting a nice stretch of the spine. So looking up. Beautiful. So about 2 to 3 breaths. And as we work on prana, I request everybody to do Ujjayi pranayam. So there's a guttural sound through the throat, like this. Exhale. Try that again. So that the breath can go into the different parts of the body. The fifth movement of the spine, extension, back bend, forward fold, side, and the fifth is a twist. Very gentle twist here. Your spine will just thank you, will just love this kind of a twist. Change. And the other side. Beautiful. So now that we've given the 5 natural movements of the spine, it's important for us to understand a little bit about the muscles. There are many muscles in the back. As a species, we have been bipedal, walking on 2 legs for not very long in terms of evolution. And therefore, unless you strengthen the core, you're always going to have a little bit of backache. The 3 major muscles that we are going to look at is 1, the trapezius. This is the muscle here. A lot of us know this because when we are very stressed, it gets stiff, and somebody pressing or rubbing the trapezius feels like heaven. So trapezius. Just below the trapezius, so This part of the back, but at the back, is known as the erector spinae. It's a lengthy muscle that allows you to keep, as the name suggests, to keep the spine straight, erector spinae. And then on the side of that, so this part of the body, but at the back, is the latissimus dorsi, the lats. You know a lot of exercises in the gym that work on the lats, right? The latissimus dorsi, almost like wings, it's like your angel wings of sorts, that needs to be strengthened, stretched initially. So let's talk a little bit more about the stretches. So we did very basic stretches. Let's take that idea a little further. Now understand, initially you've got a lot of pain, so you just need to stretch the body. But over a course of time, you cannot leave it at that. You have to strengthen. The muscles have to get long, stretched, and strong, long and strong. So we looked at this Bhujangasana, your hands in line with the shoulders. If there's no pain, keep the feet together. Yeah? Engage your lower back muscle and just lift this much. And if you can stay here for 5 slow breaths, you're going to strengthen the lower back. So looking slightly up, don't hyperextend the neck. 4. I invite you, when you breathe in, to internally chant so, and when you breathe out, to chant hum. 3. It's all ujjayi. 2, 1. So that's a very good exercise for lower back strength. Now, curl the toes. Let's do one more extension. Stretch. If your shoulders have the strength, if the pain is not in the upper back shoulders, just stretch the body here. Fantastic. Drop back down. Now that we've got that little bit of flexibility in the back, let's start to strengthen the back itself. So we begin with the upper back. Feet together. Sarp asana. Sarp means snake. Interlock your hands. Inhale. So that gentle lifting of the back strengthens the upper back. This is very important in our generation, because most people are hunched over a laptop or smartphone. The shoulders are getting rounded. It needs to open out so that your prana, also just your thinking, is very different when your posture is very powerful or confident, open. So that was Sarpasana. You can now lift the legs a little bit when you do it the second time. So we transfer even the focus to the lower back. Now we're getting into something called Shalab Asana or locust. Shalab is a very important posture, and it helps a lot with lower back strength. Eventually you'll have to do Shalabhasana daily so that the back gets the training it needs. So before we go to Shalabhasana, I invite you to take up Dhanur Asana, bow. Now holding your shin. If there's any pain, you can stay off this, but otherwise, when you're ready for it after maybe a week or so of Bhujang, just lift the thighs up. So what I'm doing here is opening the shoulders, pushing the legs back, engaging the thighs, and come back. So you can do this 2-3 times, and this will open out the lower back. That now sets the tone for you to then strengthen the lower back with Shalabhasana. So you can interlock your fingers like this, yeah, under your torso. If you find it difficult, you can even keep the palms flat. And once you're ready, keep the chin down and lift the legs up. So like that, initially what I would suggest is do one leg. And I've just shown it to you quickly, but what you do is you take a bit of time with it, and then you do both legs when you have the strength. Once you've done that, just rest your back here. Now this little bit of work on the back, and you can even soothe the back here. This is a beautiful posture for the spine, and whenever you have the chance, you can do that to rest. Now we have looked at slight strengthening of the back. We've looked at spinal stretch, flexibility, and a little bit of strengthening. I'd also like to focus now on what to do with the forward fold. A lot of the time, the backache has begun because you lifted some weight suddenly or you stretched some sudden physical activity. So for the next few months, whenever you bend forward, keep the knees bent. Yeah, always keep the knees bent. So if you have to lift up something, don't just plonk and try and lift it. Keep the knees bent and lift with your thighs. So in terms of forward bending, you can do a lot of standing forward bends, but keep the knees bent. Now I would suggest always starting with one leg, Janu Shirshasana. Keep the knees soft. You can even keep like a small little cushion here, or just keep the knee bent. Breathe in, pull in your stomach. The more you can pull in your stomach, you'll go down. Just allowing the whole back to soothe itself. There's no need for you to get your forehead on the knee, stomach on the... It'll happen in due course, but initially, just trying to loosen out the muscles. As long as your knee is bent, it's safe for the lower back. Yeah. So please remember, stomach goes in, you're facing the leg, stomach goes in. A lot of the times, people suffer from backache because the hamstrings are stiff. So then the lower back has to overcompensate. If you're in a sedentary job, working in an AC environment, you're definitely going to have tight hamstrings. It's very important. And finally, with both the legs, with the knees bent, pull in the stomach. So I don't want you to crunch the body, stretch, push the glute out. So you're pushing the tailbone back. Just gently stretch. Like that. As a counter pose, bend the knee. Now, since we said that a lot of the time the hamstrings are an issue, this is a beautiful stretch to do like this. Keep the toes slightly in and just drop your palms here. So this allows your hamstrings to open. So that eventually the lower back starts to feel more relaxed. And you can continue that eventually by bringing even the legs close together. Keeping the knees slightly soft and dropping down. Yeah. For us, the back is such an important part because it is part of the central nervous system. So in yoga, we spend a lot of time ensuring that the back is optimum. Now that we've looked at forward and backward, we've done the side stretches. Let's take up a nice spinal twist. So what you can do, bring your right leg here and just bring it into the body. It doesn't need to touch the chest, but as much as it comes, that's good. Bend the other knee. Now, if you cannot bend the other knee, just take the left hand, lock it here and turn. And those who can bend the left knee, you may even be able to drop the hand, but this is fine. Change. Let's try the other side. Twist. And even bend this knee. Those of you who are finding that difficult, an easier approach to a spinal twist is this. So it depends on the level of backache that you're suffering from. This is a beautiful stretch to do. So first, just bring the right knee here to the chest. You can go around and even hold the elbows, but that's just dependent on your flexibility. This will give so much relief to the lower back. You'll feel that this should be done you can do it in the night before you go to sleep, in the morning, and the other side. Keep the breathing normal. This is a range of movements called Pavan Muktasan. Literally releasing the air from the joints. So you can take about 5 breaths on either side. And once you're done with that, then take both the legs. It's okay for the hip bone, the pelvis to come up a little bit. You could even start to lift the chin here once you're more comfortable. Get a nice stretch. That's one. The spinal twist that I'd like you to try is putting the right foot onto the left knee. The left leg is straight. Now, take the right hand, keep it in line with where the shoulder line would be. So keep it down, palm on the floor. With the left hand, bring the right knee down, if you can, touching the floor, and twist. Even if you're fit and healthy, this is a good stretch to do. Every now and then, just completely unwinds the back. Let's try it on the other side. It's okay if your knee doesn't reach the ground. Over a course of time, the spine will open. This is for the lower back. Fantastic. For the middle back, we'll do it a little differently. Bend both the knees first. Now place the foot on the bent knee and we twist. A similar movement, but the left leg is not straight anymore, it's also bent. So this now stretches very beautifully the middle back. Again, you're looking in the opposite direction. Some of you may hear a click sound in these postures, absolutely fine. Getting the spinal alignment back. It's almost as if you're doing chiropractic work for yourself. Other side. Change, come back. Fantastic. Coming up to sit. So now you have looked at stretching, you've looked at basic strengthening, but you're not going to get very far with overcoming backache with a weak core. So it's very important for us that we are able to strengthen the core. So the easiest ways for us to do that, now before we get into proper core strength, this is a nice exercise to do for back strength initially. It's a gentle movement. If this is too much initially, you can just do one leg. But I assume that this is fairly simple to do once you have the strength. Many years ago, I was playing football and I had a slip disc. So I understand exactly how long it takes. It's one of the most debilitating things because suddenly you feel that the middle part of your body that gives the structural support cannot hold you anymore. So there's a disjoint between the lower and the upper body, and it's almost as if you feel paralyzed for the first few days. You're on bed rest, but eventually you begin to understand how the spine, how the beautiful alignment, how the body has been designed to give us this. So a lot of the times an injury is a great opportunity to learn how the body is designed. We take it for granted, we've just grown into this body, and we are so focused on what we do in the external world that often we don't spend the time not just to appreciate, but just to learn how nature has put together over so many billion of years a system that is so uniquely designed. So let's use this injury as an opportunity. I'd like you to sort of start to train now in plank. So pushing the heels back, pushing the tailbone back, the palms are flat, the fingers slightly grip the mat, pushing the shoulders forward, the head forward, pulling the navel up into the spine, and just stay here. Yeah, as you get stronger and stronger in the core, after that you can even train here. Keep the hip up, again push the heels back, pull the thigh bones, the kneecaps towards your pelvis, push the chest forward, like this, and always stretch here after. Like this, you got to start to strengthen the core, and then after that you can get into poses like Naukasana and stuff. I strongly recommend, whether you don't have a backache also, to make back strengthening and stretching a part of your life. As you grow older and older, the one thing that people tell me is that they miss the flexibility of the spine. A lot of us, our ideas on life, our vision of life is dependent very often on the body-mind capability. You know this, whenever you get ill, suddenly your vision of life changes. It's all about just surviving to the next meal or just surviving to the next day. But when you're fit, healthy, vibrant, your vision of life, the ability that you can understand about yourself and express is very high. So don't look at backache as just getting you back to how you were before. Use it as an opportunity to further understand A, about yourself, B, express yourself even better. I'd just like to conclude this. Whenever you're looking at training in yoga, don't leave it at just the body or just the mind. Treat it as, how do I use body, how do I train body, how do I transform body, how do I transform mind, how do I transform prana. So we'll finish with a simple breathing exercise. How is this related to backache? It's very related, because if you get the breathing flow right, your posture will automatically be good. So breathe in, visualizing your awareness from the base of your spine to the eyebrow center. Breathe out, visualizing from the eyebrow center down to the base. So this is a flow of prana, a simple kriya, a movement of the conscious awareness. So breathe in. Lengthen, breathe out. Breathe in, just let the prana flow. In itself, if it flows well, it will heal the spine. Breathe out. Last. And I'll just leave you with this one thought. The Sanskrit word for pain or suffering is dukkha. Ka comes from akasha or space. So dukkha means bad space. The reverse or a pleasurable feeling of life, happiness, is sukha. Sukha means good space. So your suffering is intricately related with the body, mind. If you have bad space because you're crunched, it's very tough to be very sort of joyous. So getting the right space in the body is very, very important. Namaste. I thank you for joining me today. There are many, many more videos where I've tried to explain yoga in different ways, how to incorporate this body, mind, prana, trinity, eventually union, so that you get the best out of your yoga practice. Feel free to write in to me.